Good morning, guys. Hope you have understood the topic surface areas and volumes of solid children. Now, today's class we have a new chapter, lines and angles. Lines and angles. The concepts you have been learning in your earlier classes, children, you have already learned in your primary classes. Yes, now coming to today's class, children, the fundamentals of the topic. You have heard the name line, ray, line segment. What is a line? A line has no endpoints. It has only arrowheads and extends endlessly in both directions. It has no endpoints, extends endlessly in both directions. You cannot measure a line. Why? Because it has two arrowheads. It extends endlessly in both directions. Line segment. A line segment is a part of a line with two endpoints. It is a part of a line with two endpoints. Because it has two endpoints, children, you can measure a line segment. The endpoints will give you a chance to measure the line segment. You cannot measure a line, but you can measure a line segment. Third, a ray. A ray is a part of a line with only one endpoint. A ray is a part of a line with one endpoint. This ray will extend only in one direction. Why? Because it has only one arrowhead. A line extends in both directions. A ray extends only in one direction. You cannot measure a line nor a ray, but you can measure only a line segment because it has got two endpoints. Are you able to follow, children? A line segment is a part of a line with two endpoints. When it has endpoints, you can measure. A ray and a line you cannot measure. Why? Because they have arrowheads. A ray has one endpoint or initial point and extends only in one direction. A line has two arrowheads and extends endlessly in both directions, and you cannot measure a line. Coming to the fourth, children, collinear points. What are collinear points? Three or more points which lie on the same line are called collinear points. Three or more. Three or more points which lie on the same line are called collinear points. If the points do not lie on the same line, they are non-collinear. Collinear opposite is non-collinear. Coming to angle. When two rays meet at a point, an angle is formed. When two rays meet at a point, an angle is formed. Which are the rays here, children? Ray OA and ray OB meet at one point O. This O is called the end point or the vertex of the angle. The two rays are OA and OB. The end point for the two rays is O. O is called the vertex of the angle. Ray OA and ray OB are called the arms of the angle. Hope you have followed, children. Now coming to kinds of angles. Kinds of angles. Kinds of angles. First one, acute angle. What is an acute angle? An angle whose measure is less than 90 degrees. An angle whose measure is less than 90 degrees is an acute angle. That means from 0 degrees to 90 degrees. An angle whose measure is less than 90 degrees is called an acute angle. Next, an angle whose measure, second one is obtuse angle. An angle whose measure is between 90 degrees and 180 degrees is an obtuse angle. Between 90 and 180. Yes, right angle. An angle whose measure is exactly 90 degrees is a right angle. Exactly 90 degrees, children. Fourth, acute, obtuse, right. Next comes what? Reflex angle. Reflex angle. An angle whose measure is between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. Between 180 degrees and 360 degrees is a reflex angle. More than 180, less than 360. More than 180, less than 360. Straight angle. Straight angle. An angle whose measure is exactly 180 degrees is a straight angle. Complete angle. An angle whose measure is 360 degrees is a complete angle. These are not new concepts, children. You have been learning this from 5th standard. Kinds of angles. The first one is acute angle. An angle whose measure is less than 90 degrees is an acute angle. Obtuse angle. An angle whose measure is between 90 and 180 degrees is an obtuse angle. Right angle measures exactly 90 degrees. Reflex angle measures between 180 and 360 degrees. Straight angle measure is exactly 180 degrees. And complete angle measure is 360 degrees. Next one, seventh one, complementary angles. Complementary angles. Complementary angles. Two angles whose sum is 90 degrees are called complementary angles. The sum of two angles is 90 degrees means they are called complementary angles. Two angles whose sum is 90 degrees are called two angles whose sum is 90 degrees are called complementary angles. A, B. Angle AOB is 43. Angle BOC is how much? 47. Angle AOB plus angle BOC is equal to 43 plus 47, that is equal to 90 degrees. The complement of the complement of 32 degrees is equal to 90 degrees minus 32, that is equal to 58 degrees. The complement of y is equal to 90 degrees minus y. 90 degrees is a numerical number, y is a variable, you cannot write 89y. There is a common mistake made by children. 90 is a number, y is a variable, the complement of y is 90 minus y. Supplementary angles. Supplementary angles. Supplementary angles. Two angles whose sum is how much? 180 degrees are called what? Supplementary angles. Two angles whose sum is how much? 180 degrees are called supplementary angles. You have two angles, children. Angle AOB, angle BOC. What is angle AOB? Angle AOB plus angle BOC is equal to 33 plus 147, that is equal to 180 degrees. Yes, example, the supplement of 2x degrees is equal to the supplement of 72 degrees is equal to 180 minus 72, that is equal to get the complement of an angle, children, subtract from 90. To get the supplement of an angle, subtract from 180. What are complementary angles? Two angles whose sum is 90 are called complementary angles, and two angles whose sum is 180 are called supplementary angles. If an angle is given, you want to get its complement, subtract the angle from 90 degrees. In the same way, to get the supplement of an angle, subtract from 180 degrees. All definitions only, children. Adjacent. The word adjacent is familiar for all of you. What does the word adjacent mean? Side by side. Two houses are adjacent. Houses can be adjacent. When do you call as adjacent houses? When both the houses have a common wall, they are called as adjacent. Adjacent means side by side. If they are side by side, definitely they'll have something in common. In the same way, angles also can be adjacent. Two angles. This is two angles are adjacent when they have a common vertex and a common arm. They have a common vertex and a common arm. Two angles are adjacent when they have a common vertex and a common arm. What, children? Yes? Which are the two angles? Angles are angle AOB, angle AOC and angle BOC. Yes? Angle AOC, angle BOC. They have a common vertex. The common vertex is what, children, for both the angles? O. Common arm. Arm is nothing but the side of the angle. The ray OC is common to both. Two angles are adjacent when they have a common vertex and a common arm. 10th one, a linear pair. Yes, a pair of adjacent supplementary angles, a pair of adjacent supplementary angles is called a linear pair. A pair of adjacent supplementary angles is called a linear pair. They should be adjacent and their sum should be equal to 180 degrees, children. Not only adjacent, but the sum of the two angles should be 180 degrees. Are you following? Are they adjacent? Angle AOC, angle BOC are adjacent. They have a common vertex O and a common arm OC. The sum of the two angles is how much, children? 180. Angle AOC, angle BOC are what angles? Adjacent angles. Yes, their sum is how much? Their sum, angle AOC plus angle BOC is equal to 150 degrees plus 30 degrees, that is 180 degrees. That is why you call them as linear pair. Every adjacent angles pair cannot be a linear pair, but linear pair can be adjacent. All adjacent angles are not linear pair, but all linear pair angles are adjacent angles. Note, a linear pair forms adjacent angles, but adjacent angles may or may not form a linear pair. I hope you have followed, children, all of you. Understood? Can you recollect your definitions? Linear pair means a pair of adjacent supplementary angles is called a linear pair. Not only adjacent, but their sum must be equal to 180 degrees. But for adjacent angles, children, they must have a common vertex and a common arm. All adjacent angles do not form a linear pair, but all linear pair will form adjacent angles. Supplementary. Two angle sum is 180, they are called supplementary. Two angle sum is 90, they are called complementary. Complete angle. Do you know what is a complete angle? The measure is 360 degrees. Straight angle 180, 90 degrees. Right angle between 0 and 90. Acute between 90 and 180. What is that angle called? Obtuse angle between 180 and 360. Reflex angle, and we have a zero angle. What is zero angle? An angle whose measure is 0 degrees is 0 degrees is zero angle. Yes, hope you have followed, children, all of you. Homework. Learn and write the definitions once. Learn and write the definitions one time.
All.
Learn and write all the definitions one time. Yes, hope you have understood, children. A reminder to you, request your parents to please pay the school fee, children. There are many fee defaulters. The whole class is fee defaulters, and remind and request your parents to please pay the school fee.